All right. Are you ready to go, Dr. Garrett? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good evening, parents. Good evening, students. Thank you for joining us for our first parents meeting for the year of 2023. We did meet in October, and we like to give parents and students updates as it relates to your senior year. So we're going to cover so many different topics today. But please understand, if your friend or neighbor cannot join us today, we will have the recording of this Zoom on our website. We will also share it the same way I shared this invite for you. I will also share a link to this presentation. So if you missed something or you need the right notes, I don't want you to kind of be fearful of that. You can always get this and kind of play it back as many times. So you'll get to meet a lot of great people today, but more importantly, you get to ask questions. Graduation we know is June 9th. So it's an exciting time for all our seniors and parents and families. So we want to make sure you give you as much information as possible. So before we begin, I will kind of pass the mic over to our proud leader, Dr. Garrett, who will share a welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Ulrich and everyone. I say this every year to our graduating parents. Second semester of senior year goes by incredibly fast. So buckle up, hang in there. Most importantly, please ask questions. Please reach out to us because there's a lot of information that comes at you fast. If you need anything, make sure that you're reaching out to Mr. Ulrich. Ms. Jones is our other 12th grade team leader, me, your student's counselor. Just make sure that you're keeping in touch with us because it will be June 9th before you know it. But this is the most exciting time of your student's high school career. If you've never had a 12th grade graduating senior before, you will be amazed at all of the celebrations and all of the activities and all of just the wonderful experience they're about to enter in for. So thank you for being here tonight. Like Mr. Ulrich said, we will have this recorded. There will be the presentation available for you. So don't worry if you miss something. We will have the Q&A open as well. And one final thing, we do have our Amharic language translation service about to go up. If you do need Amharic, please choose Chinese from the menu shortly. And once we get our Spanish translation service, we'll give you an update.
Thank you, Dr. Garrett. Awesome. So we're going to cover so many different things. More or less, our theme is all about class of 2023 finishing strong. I'm going to talk about a letter that you'll receive in about 2 to 3 weeks that will cover important information about your senior. We'll talk about obligations, some important dates and information, some SSL information, how to stay connected with the senior team here, graduation information, senior dues, mention obligations. Prom is coming up May 20th. We have a date, so we're super excited about that. And then we'll have an update from our amazing counseling team, Ms. Capicelli. Awesome. I love to put the point of contacts. Who are the go-to people that can definitely support you throughout? Obviously, our proud principal, Dr. Garrett.
Mr. Ulrich, real quick, you might not know, your slides aren't projected.
Oh, I'm sorry. Gotcha. Thank you, Dr. Garrett. I'm not sure why is that the case. Are we there? Okay, I apologize, folks. Awesome. This is the second slide look like, but here it is. The point of contact, Dr. Garrett, our property, Dr. Garrett, myself, Mr. Ulrich, Ms. Breslaw, who's in charge of our SSL hours. One person I want you all to know very, very well, because she is a superstar here, is Ms. Holly Jones. She's in charge of she's our graduation coordinator. She's going to be the one setting up graduation and going to be more or less the point person talking about graduation. So any graduation questions, she is the person. And we have 2 of our dynamic duos, Ms. Lotney as well as Mr. Meador, who has been working with our senior class last year and has graciously took on that task this year as well. So anything related to prom, senior dues, or things of that nature, they're there to support as well. So please take a picture of this, or when you see the recording, anytime you want information in regards to graduation or anything dealing with your senior graduating, please utilize some of these contacts. So I stress this all the time. I think the last time we spoke, it was 100 and maybe 53 days. Now we're down to 70 school days. The last day for seniors is May 26th, which means 70 days from today all the way to May 26th, 70 school days. So it is critical that you finish out strong for one, but more importantly, you take advantage of all the opportunities that Northwood will be offering from now until May 26th. All right, please mark your calendar. May 26th is the last day for seniors. So any work you have to complete, any classes you need to recover, this is the opportunity. This is the opportunity right now to speak to your counselor or connect and make sure you have all your graduation requirements met. But more importantly, that you have planned accordingly for your future. When you graduate, you may be going somewhere. So you make sure your applications are in. Make sure you have, taken any particular tests you have to take, any assessments, because 70 days will go by quickly. So please take advantage of everything. And please talk to your counselor if you have any questions as it relates to your future, as it relates to any career goals, opportunities that you're looking forward to. Just kind of following up, just kind of finishing strong. Make sure you show up to school every single day. Making sure you're asking questions. So if you have any questions, any terms or making up any assignments, any work, please reach out to your teachers. We're here to support you. We're here to make sure that you make it to that finish line. All right. The goal is that I get all 429 seniors across the finish line. So if you have any questions or I can support you getting there, please let me know. There's no days off. All right. 70 days. Please come to school every day, go to all your classes, and complete all your requirements. All right. I love talking about business, but here the outstanding obligations. So one of our requirements is to make sure that, everyone, have an opportunity to graduate. But some students do owe some obligations from grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, and even for this particular school year. It is important that all obligations are met, which means you have to have a zero balance in your school account. If you need to know how much you owe, we'll be sending out some communication within the next few weeks as relates to if you have a balance from something that you could have borrowed from grade 9 or grade 10, or let's say, for example, there's a missing textbook from a geometry class from grade 10 that you never returned, that you have on top of your microwave right now. Please return it, because it stays on the book, stays on the records here. And if it's not returned to school, it will become an obligation. So by all means, please, 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 check your account, make sure everything is kind of cleared in terms of any obligations you may have. Also, new this year, if you go onto our website, you see a quick link on the bottom there, our school cash online accounts. All right, if you want to make any payments, if you look on our main website, on the left side, you'll see school cash online. If you click on there, you'll be able to pay for any obligations that you may have. So by all means, have any questions as it relates to any obligations, please contact our business office. Ms. June or Ms. Tamisha Adams will be here. Will be there to assist you. Or during lunchtime, you're welcome to take a trip to our finance office. As I mentioned earlier, we are sending out senior status letters. So it looks something similar to what you see on your screen right now to the right. The purpose of this letter is to share with parents where students stand as of today. So if you owe any SSL hours, that will be on this letter. If you still need to pass a particular class or course for graduation, that will be on this letter. If you have not taken an assessment, that will be on this letter. All right. How many credits you have, that will be on this letter. We want to ensure that everyone has as much information as possible so you know your status as it relates to graduation. This letter will go out, it'll be mailed out on February 24th. So I'm assuming the week of February 28th, this letter will be home. If you have any questions or you see a discrepancy on this letter or a question about a class that you think that could have been passed in the past that you have any questions about, please contact your counselor. We want to make sure we give you this information today. So if there's any conversation, we can have it now versus waiting till May. So you will have this letter. This letter will go on to every senior. So even if a kid is fully clear for graduation, you will see a sign that says all clear for graduation. So you know this is where my child stands as of today. So to piggyback off that conversation, we have a credit recovery program here. So if you have any questions as it relates to your child who may need to recover a class from grade 9, grade 10, or let's say the first semester this year, they did not do well in a particular class, please reach out to your counselor. We have different programs that students can take, and they can recover courses through our Admentum program. So please, if you have a child who might, be on a fence about a particular course, please make contact with your school counselor to kind of figure out a way of recovering any credits that was missed in the past. All right, the goal for every senior is to achieve 75 SSL hours. As of today, we still have about 40% of our class who have not achieved those hours yet. It is critical to have the full 75 hours completed. All right, we cannot stress that enough. We cannot allow anyone to walk across the stage until every hour has been completed. So if you have any questions as it relates to SSL hours, that will be in the letter. But more importantly, there are opportunities that is happening at Northwood High School during lunchtime in counseling. If you go on our website, there's a link for any SSL hours students can actually be a part of. There are some virtual options as well. But we want to make sure every parent understands the importance that your child must complete these hours. All right. Now, if your child complete over 260 hours, in the deadline to receive the purple tassel for the special award during graduation is March 30th, 2023. We have several students who already achieved this goal already. So they're on the special list already and will receive a special tassel for graduation. So if you fall under this particular category, your hours and everything must be submitted by March 30th. But overall, the last day to submit SSL hours for the 75 hours is June 2nd, 2023. And we need that information because we have to put your name in the program if you have graduated. I'm sorry, if you have not achieved the same 5 hours, we have to kind of remove names off the program. So it's critical that you achieve those 75 hours before June 2nd, 2023. So if you have a form at home that needs to be signed, please get it signed, return it to Ms. Breslaw in the Media Center, and we'll process that in the system. And I will pass the mic on to Ms. Jones, who will share a little bit about graduation.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for being here. So yeah, I'm going to share a very brief update about graduation. If you want to go to the next slide. So yes, we do know when our graduation is going to be. We will be at DAR Constitution Hall on Friday, June 9th at 2:30 p.m. We do know based on the number of graduates that we currently have that each family will receive 7 tickets for entry into DAR Constitution Hall. If we are able to provide more tickets for families, we will certainly let you know, and we will let you know what the process is for that as we get closer to graduation. Next slide. As always, one of the wonderful, remarkable, amazing things about Northwood is at our graduations, we love to hear from our students. This is what it's all about. So our opportunity for student speakers is available to every 12th grade student. There will be, give them a few days because we're very early in this process, but beginning probably late next week, please see your English teacher for more details on how you can get involved. And if you happen to be a student or a family of a child that is taking English through MC Squared and is off campus, you can see Mr. Sauter for this information as well. So this is available to all of our seniors to write a speech and audition to be a student speaker at graduation. All right. So we have a lot of important dates coming. I won't read through all of these for you, but I'm going to highlight a few as they relate to graduation. We are going to do an in-person graduation brunch in April, where we will invite all of our senior parents to Northwood. We'll give you more details, more specific details about graduation, parking, tickets, what students should wear, cap and gown, all all of that stuff. So we hope that that you will join us. Mr. Ulrich will send out an RSVP form for parents to fill out to attend a little bit closer to that date. Some things that are super important and to start planning for now: cap and gown distribution will happen on June 6th. As Mr. Ulrich already mentioned, students have to have cleared all of their obligations in order to, one, buy tickets to prom, and two, get their cap and gown. So please make sure that you are taking care of that prior to these dates. And then we will have a mandatory graduation rehearsal for students on Wednesday, June 7th. That will take place at Northwood. And we will hand out graduation tickets to graduation immediately after that rehearsal. So it's super important that students are saving that date. They can come on the school bus in the morning. It starts at 7:45, 8 o'clock. And we most likely will be done before 2:30, but they need to go ahead and reserve the full school day. And then, of course, our graduation is Friday, June 9th.
And real quick, just a moment of house cleaning. If you need one of our language services, we now have available Spanish, French, and Amharic at the bottom of the screen. If you do need Amharic, you need to choose Chinese.
Hey, Dr. Gary, can you share a little bit about the Gladiator Scholars Program?
Absolutely. So this will be the second annual Gladiator Scholars. This is a program we started last year, and the focus of the Gladiator Scholars, we put a lot of emphasis on our students who have had the 4.0s and the 3.8s their whole entire high school career, and we love to celebrate those students. But we've always contended as educators, sometimes it can be a little more challenging to maybe start freshman 9th grade year with not the best GPA, and then by 12th grade, you have done tremendous improvement. And so our Gladiator Scholars is a celebration of our 20 to 25 most improved students between 9th grade and 12th grade year. And it will be a formal dinner that we're in the works for. But what's very important about this night is that each scholar gets to invite a staff member who was very influential to them in their journey. And they will say a little something about that student. And then it's a very night of celebration. And so we will be pulling the data for our Gladiator Scholars for this year in the next week or two, because we now have our first semester grades for 12th grade year out. And we will go from there. So if you are invited as a Gladiator Scholar, it is a fantastic moment of recognition. And also you will get a notification in the graduation booklet on June 9th that you are a Gladiator Scholar.
Thank you, Dr. Garrett. It was an amazing program last year. Awesome. I want to introduce you all to our class sponsors, Ms. Lotney, as well as Mr. Meador. Mr. Meador, are you there? Okay, so we're having some technical difficulties, but we'll move forward. So some senior dues that Mr. Mito would have shared is this year is $80. The senior dues includes the cap and gown, a Northwood stash, a one-way charter bus ticket to DAR. So we're gonna have students meet at the school on the I guess the 10 o'clock on graduation day, and they'll get on a charter bus to DAR. It's a one-way ticket, which means we want you all to make sure after students receive their cap and gowns or receive their diploma that they will go home with the parent. They do not go back to Northwood. So that's their one-way ticket to the real world and to DAR and the graduation. So it also includes the senior parent breakfast and student breakfast on the day of graduation. All right, so if there's any financial concerns, please contact your counselors. We don't want this to be a barrier for anyone. So please let us know how we could better support you, but the senior dues will be $80 this year. Awesome, the senior prom. We are super excited. The senior prom will be on May 20th. It's a Saturday. And one thing about Northwood, our prom committee and our PTA throw an amazing event for our students. The ticket this year is $65. It will be downtown Silver Spring at the Civic Building. It starts at 8 o'clock. It goes all the way to midnight, and we'll be sharing more information as it relates to senior prom It's a festive event. Last year we had an amazing time, and this year we'll definitely have a great time again. We'll be probably sharing more information as it relates to the after prom festivities as well. Once we kind of get closer to the date, but yeah, senior prom is May 20th. Students, if you're on the call right now, please mark your calendar. Parents, we'll let you all know when tickets will be on sale. They sell out pretty fast because it's a pretty popular event. So it's a senior junior prom. So juniors and seniors are actually included into this event, but it will be May 20th, which is a Saturday, starting at 8 o'clock. I always love to put this information out there just to be very much transparent. We want to make sure everyone has a safe prom experience. So please, we do reserve the right to deny entry to the prom. So please, you want to, when you come to the prom event, you want to make sure that we represent Northwood to the fullest extent. So, you know, by all means, please make sure you know, our best behavior and things of that nature. But, you know, prom event is usually a formal event, and we will have a great time during that evening. A quick update about our yearbook. Our yearbook price this year is $100. I put the bit.ly on top. It's on our school website. You can actually scan the QR code as well. We want to place your order in right now. The deadline kind of went by for the ads inside the yearbook, but we do have yearbooks on sale as of right now, and it will be $100. So we place your order in right now. The goal is that you will receive the yearbook before graduation. You know, it's always a beautiful keepsake to have your yearbook that you can have for the rest of your life, and you can always show your friends what you look back in high school, and you know, something that folks will have for the rest of their lives. So we have pictures of all students in the yearbook. So please, by all means, please support the yearbook committee, and it's done by students. So we're super excited to empower our students with this amazing keepsake. So it's $100 price for this particular school year. Please order the yearbook, QR code there, as well as the bit.ly on top to order the yearbook. And information in regards to some scholarships for this particular school year. Northwood has a legacy scholarship that will be given out to certain students. Our Northwood Educational Foundation Scholarship, our Isaiah Benjamin Arnold Scholarship. Additional information will be shared with students in terms of the criteria for these scholarships. So please look out for the students. There are still plenty of scholarships available for all students as well. Please see Ms. Snape as it relates to that. But we'll share information as it relates to the Northwood Legacy Scholarship and the Educational Foundation Scholarships for Northwood. And Ms. Capicelli?
Right. Hello, everyone. I am Christine Capicelli. I'm one of the upperclassmen school counselors, and I am here to share updates from counseling in regards to graduation requirements. And Ms. Snape couldn't join us, so I will be sharing her piece as well. So we wanted to, again, make sure everyone know who your counselor is. At the beginning of the alphabet, A through D as Ms. Lightfoot, Mr. Lozapone, Ms. Kamaski, Ms. West Gibson, and Dr. Ponce are all the senior counselors. Make sure you are reaching out now. We do not want any surprises before graduation. For graduation requirements, all seniors must have 22 credits to graduate. That's including 4 English, 4 math credits, 3 NGSS science classes, which your counselor has already double checked and triple checked your students' transcripts to make sure they are in those assigned classes, 3 social studies classes, a full year of PE, a half a credit of health, a full credit of technology, art, 2.5 elective credits, and a program completer, which would be a world language, Edison, child development, and those areas of study. All seniors must sit for the state testing, including the English, algebra, and government and science exam. We talked about those SSL hours. Seniors need 75 hours. On SAT day on March 22nd, we will have an activity for seniors to earn hours. We have twice a week in the Media Center on Tuesdays and Fridays, opportunities for seniors to earn hours. Do not wait until the last minute. We want to get them done so we don't have to worry about them. The best way to contact for students, stop by before lunch, before school, during lunch, or after school, or email your counselor directly so we could set up an appointment. For parents, reaching out to the counselor directly, or we have a link that is on the website and link to this presentation that notifies Ms. Selly, who will directly get you an appointment with us. keeping up to date with our social media accounts and our school counseling website. We have a lot of information for you guys to take advantage of. Again, Ms. Snape couldn't be here. She is our college and career coordinator, so she helps with Life After Northwood. She has a link for students and for parents to set up an appointment. For students coming out lunchtime, there are no appointments needed. Make sure you are coming now and having these conversations so we have a plan for Life After Northwood. We wanted to share where your students should be based off of their post-secondary plan. So four-year college students, you should have submitted those applications. FAFSA and MISFA should be completed by March 1st. That is coming up shortly. So please, please, please make sure you are doing that. You should start hearing from colleges with their financial aid application. So we're now in the process of waiting and then seeing what your best option is and applying to scholarships. Ms. Snape sends out scholarships, and she also has all updated scholarships on her website. For students who are applying to MC, apply directly on that website. It'll take you 5 minutes to do. You still need to do the financial aid process and doing the scholarships. Gap year is similar to four-year college, must complete all those steps and apply to that gap year program. For students who would like to go into the military, you should have taken the ASVAB exam and connected with a recruiter. If you have not done so, please come into the Career Center and we will get you connected with someone. World of Work, making that resume. If you don't know what you want to do after high school, we have career interest profilers and different things that you can use to make sure you have an idea before you graduate. And then for trade schools, applying directly through their website, and you still need to do the financial aid process. So March 1st is coming up. Make sure everyone completes that. We will have opportunities to get help directly at Northwood, and I will be sharing that in our next slide. So coming up from the College and Career Center, HBCU week is next week, ending with the HBCU fair that is Friday night, and they will have on-spot interviews all next week. So you should have received an email from Ms. Snape. If you have not, come into the Career Center, talk to your counselor. We need to make sure you get all signed up and prepared for that. Financial aid completion day at Northwood is February 22nd, 9:30 to 3 o'clock. Students and parents are going to come in, bring in all of those documents, and we will get you signed up for financial aid. We will help through the stressful part of it. You will receive an email shortly within the next week to sign up for an appointment so you can meet with Ms. Snape and get all of this done. So March 1st is coming up shortly. Make sure you get all your tax documents from 2021, everything you need, and so we can help you get through that process. And that should be it.
Before we move on, there's a couple other announcements as it relates to the senior class. We have a major talent show coming up next month, March 10th, which is on a Friday. It's called Mr. Northwood. We were not able to do it last year, but we are bringing it back for this year. So you'll see more information as it relates to that about auditioning for the talent show. But that is also a fundraiser for our seniors as well. I want to kind of throw that out there. Also, I made a mistake earlier as it relates to SSL hours, 240 hours. Am I correct, Ms. Jones?
That is correct. I confirmed it on the website. It is 240, not 260. And I updated the slides. So when those slides go out, that information will be correct. Thank you to those of you out there who caught that. That's kind of a big deal.
That is a big deal. I want to also give a big a shout out to Miss Susie, who's on the call right now. And she more or less supports a lot of our obligations. So anything in the business office, she supports a lot of the planning, financial stuff as it relates to our senior class. Ms. Jones, is there any other updates as it relates to the obligations that I missed? Got it. So, I guess we look at some questions in the Q&A. Dr. Gad, do you see any questions in the Q&A that we could address right now?
Not right now. We have been answering them as we were going along. However, Brian does have his hand raised. If you would like to ask a question, You would be able to go ahead and do that if you want to go ahead and unmic and ask a question. Oh, yep. Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Was muted. I was just wondering, did you say that there will be a senior breakfast on the day of graduation, but that the ceremony is not till 2:30? Is that right?
So yes, we typically, because it does take a little bit of time to get students organized, to make sure that everybody is there, and because we do provide transportation down to DAR, students do typically, for a 2:30 graduation, we will have them arrive at school around 11 o'clock. So we will serve, we'll call it a brunch, a light brunch for students before they head down to DAR.
Got it. Thank you.
Mhm.
I have a question. Is that okay that I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Question is, it may be a complicated question, but you can let me know. So my mom really asked this question, so she passed it on to me. So is there a pool where people who aren't using the tickets can request additional ones? So like, say there's a person who said that like they were gonna go to prom, but then like the people who had those tickets like decided, yeah, I'm not going. Can those tickets be used for other people? Is that a thing or no? Or does that make it too complicated?
I just want to clarify, are you asking, can people exchange prom tickets, or can they, or is there like a lottery for graduation tickets?
Can people exchange prom tickets?
No,
No.
they cannot. It has to, the person who purchased, there's a whole process where students have to, like, if they're inviting someone, they have to have the form filled out. You can only buy the ticket for yourself and or for your date. If they're off campus, it's linked to you and your ID number. So no, they cannot.
I see. Thanks for letting me know, and thanks for letting me ask that question.
Of course, Elliot. It's good to hear your voice.
And Ms. Jones, Mr. Ulrich, there are some good questions here about cap and gown measurements. How do they get that information? That goes to the company, correct, Ms. Jones?
So the cap and gown measurements is Mr. Meador.
So there was a Google form that was sent out.
Okay.
And Mr. Meador, I guess we could send it out again tomorrow. If I can find it right now, I might put it in the chat if I could quickly get my hands on it. But there's a cap and gown link that went out to all seniors, maybe 3 or 4 different times. It's important that we have that, just because if we don't have your measurements the day of graduation, you may walk in with an oversized cap and gown. You're not guaranteed to get the cap and gown that kind of fits you. It's important that you fill out that Google form with your measurements. So I will put something out again tomorrow to every senior candidate. If you have not filled it out already, please fill it out, because you want to make sure you have the accurate size for your cap and gown.
So what we'll do is we'll get that form, because we're seeing in the Q&A that some folks might not have gotten that. It was sent out much earlier this year. We'll make sure that Mr. Ulrich sends that out directly to the senior class again. And there is a question about tassels for dual enrollment. There is a specific actual what's the word for it? Hood, or a Ms. Jones, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's not a tassel. If you do a stole, if you get the associate's degree from the MC Squared program. In terms of dual enrollment, I do not believe there's a tassel, because there's many students who do dual enrollment classes. But if you're doing the MC Squared and get the associate's degree, there is a lot of regalia for you.
So there is a question, where do I find the form for prom guests? That will be available as we get a little bit closer to prom, but you should be able to get that either from Ms. Reeser, excuse me, our SGA sponsor, or from either one of the senior class sponsors.
And the cap and gown form was just shared in the chat box. Right now we need 100 more measurements. So we have about 300 and somebody who actually did it, and we need about 100 more students. So by all means, complete that. If you completed already, you're good. You know, but if you have not completed, please do so today. Do so right now, so we have that for you.
Mr. Ulrich, can you repost that? You sent it just to the host and panelists because it defaults to us.
Got it.
You got to choose everyone.
You got it. Awesome.
There's a question, if your cap and gown doesn't fit, can you exchange sizes or not enough time to do so? Typically, the cap and gown is based on your height. So hopefully you won't need to exchange it, but we do typically have extras so that people can exchange if they need to.
There's a good question about, will seniors have after prom? You absolutely will have after prom. The PTSA is putting the final touches on it as we speak. We should be able to make an announcement about where it's going to be and what the deal is, hopefully in the next week or so. So, because the final email we're waiting on is out there.
Mr. Mito mentioned for the cap, not the gown, the cap is one size fit all. But the gown is what you put your measurements for, folks.
There have been a few questions about needing or asking about additional tickets for graduation. I do want to make it very clear that graduation tickets are free for students. So they will receive 7 tickets for free to attend graduation. If someone is trying to sell you tickets, please let us know, because that's not a thing that happens.
There is no StubHub for graduation tickets.
That's right. But we can safely say that we can give 7 tickets per family. We do not hold on to any extra tickets. We just need to, as we get closer to graduation and we have a very clear understanding of how many graduates we are going to have, because we want as many of our students to walk across that stage as possible, we will be in touch with families about if we have enough to give everybody else additional tickets, we will. If we can't, then we will set up a lottery system for that, so that students and families can ask for more tickets. We do try to spread the wealth. So we have had families request a lot of tickets, all the way down to no tickets. But we do try to give away as many tickets as we can, but we just don't have a clear answer of that yet, because we want to make sure that as many of our students who are able to graduate can, but we will share that process. But again, tickets are free.
And I believe we do have a live question. You can go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. Hi there, Andrea Giadroni. I wanted to know, I noticed in the parent view above the student's picture, there's a little speaker, and you have the opportunity to record the the phonetic sounding of their first and last name. I wanted to know if that is for graduation purposes, so they get, so you all have the correct pronunciation of the student's last name. I only ask this because at Sims they completely it was a debacle pronouncing Giadroni, that they actually gave up mid try. So just wanted to double check as far as, I mean, I know Giadroni, there's probably many other names that are a little tricky, that what do you do about the pronunciation of every student's name so it's precise and yeah, so it's precise. Thank you.
So thank you so much for that question. This actually speaks to exactly why we make our graduation rehearsal mandatory for our students, because part of that rehearsal is our graduation announcers will be there and going around to each student individually and making sure that they are getting the enunciation correct, making sure that they are saying the name that the student feels comfortable with. So that all happens at our graduation rehearsal. We take a lot of pride and consideration in that work, and that is done at our graduation rehearsal.
Okay, thank you.
Of course, thank you.
You can, I think, unmute me now. I don't know how to unmute.
So one other thing, Mr. Mito did share through text just now that we are looking for parent volunteers to help decorate with prom. Our parents are extremely vital to the prom experience, the senior experience, the overall, different events happening for the upcoming months. So if you're available on that day, May 20th, mark your calendar, parents, and send Mr. Meador an email, Alex Meador, and he will definitely add you to the list. We could definitely use support that evening, just to kind of preparation, getting our ballroom together, making that experience a legendary experience for all of our seniors. So any parents who would like to support us in that process, please reach out to Mr. Meador. We could definitely use the support. What any other questions? One thing I will share, obviously, we're used to having graduation in the morning. My graduation this year is at 2:30 in the afternoon in DC. So, just start planning accordingly. Parking is always interesting out there by DAR. But we want to make sure that, parents are making it to see the graduation, because we have a very strict deadline and time start. So we got to get there and start everything at a particular time. So just start planning accordingly. With the traffic patterns in DC, you want to make sure you kind of take that into consideration, planning for that day.
And we'll share more details about parking, transportation, more of the logistical details about graduation at our parent breakfast. So we do really hope that you will join us for that, because there's a lot of great information.
What any other questions or concerns? Ms. Susie, anything I missed in regards to obligations, or Dr. Gary, anything that we need to share? Dr. Gary, close out. We do something called wait time here. I'm trying to provide a little wait time for all of our staff and students. So
I think Elliot has a hand raised.
Yeah, I have one more question. It's mostly as it pertains to the things that I have missing in like my Northwood account. Like, for example, excuse me, I have some library books that I haven't been able to find. Do I need to have those returned, or how does it work if I don't find those by a certain date?
if you don't find by a certain date, there will become an obligation. So it might
Okay.
be probably advantageous right now for you to probably reach out to the business office, and let's say you cannot find it, to kind of see what's the bill for that library book, and so you're not waiting to the last minute for that. But yes,
All
definitely,
right.
if you can't find it, it would be an obligation. But thanks for that question, Elliot. It's a great question.
All right. Thank you so much.
No problem. Have a good evening. Any other questions or concerns? Again, this is recorded, so if you have any friends who missed this, it will be on our website, or I'm also going to send a massive email again. I love emails. So I'll send a massive email to our parent view and student view, as well as students' personal email with this recording. So you can kind of play it back, and also we're going to probably share the PowerPoint. And Ms. Jones is going to share we're going to share a graduation senior brochure that'll be on the website as well. So that'll be all the important dates, all the important information that you might need that will help guide you for the next 4 months. We're super proud of you. So I'm speaking to existence. Congratulations. Thank you, parents, for your support and partnership in this process. Again, we need your support for our prom and different activities coming up. Please email Mr. Meador.
Mr. Ulrich, one last question
Sure.
here. On the cap and gown link form, you may need to alter that to where anyone can fill it out. It might require their MCPS email, and so some people are getting an error.
Okay.
I have something else to add to for the meeting. So the senior yard sign, we are now taking orders for the senior yard sign, and you can also go online via the school on cash online and purchase a yard sign. We will try to have the delivery on the day of the parents' breakfast by April 29th. And then after that, it will be by appointments, coming up to the school to pick up the signs, but that's what we are aiming for. It is $10 a sign, and it's a customary yard sign for our graduating seniors.
Awesome. Thank you for that. That's a great one. Our yard sign, excellent thing to put on front of your yard for it to kind of celebrate your your seniors for their great accomplishment. So yes, we put it order in today. We will make sure you have it before, you said before the parent brunch, Susie?
Yes, we are aiming to have the delivery and pickup by April 29th, the Parents Breakfast Day. And then after that, we're gonna have to make some sort of arrangements for you to come up to the school to pick up your yard sign that you've ordered.
Yeah.
And then to answer the question in the chat group about where you can order, you can go on the school cash online link, and then you can choose the yard sign, and then you can go ahead and put in your order.
Ms. Young, some folks seem to be having some struggles with the Cash Online website. Should they reach out to you and Ms. Adams for assistance on that?
Yes, please do. And I will put my email in the chat box, and then you can reach out to me. You have to create a student's account in order to access the school online, and we can help you with that. And I will also have the instruction posted on the Northwood webpage by the end of the week.
And Ms. Young, sorry, we might have missed that. When will the link for the yard sign sale go out? When will that be available for people to fill out?
It is already available via the school online cash online.
And Dr. Garrett, one other correction, the link for the cap and gown, we want to encourage only students. We don't want all types of folks to kind of fill it out, but parents, if your child did not fill it out, and you call them and have them fill out in front of you right now with their MCPS ID. It's very helpful, just because we want to make sure it sticks to the students and we don't have all types of folks filling out for.
Yeah. So if you're getting an error message when you click on that Google link, if you're an MCPS student, you need to make sure that you're in your MCPS Google account to be able to fill that out. Thank you, Mr. Ulrich. That's a good safety feature. Brian, you have your hand raised, I believe. Let me double check.
Yes,
yes, go ahead.
It's Brian's wife posing as Brian. Quick question about the yard signs. Is there a way for us to donate an extra $10 for anyone who may not be able to, who might not be able to have that in their finances?
Absolutely, ma'am. So when you go to the school cash online, and then there's a memo line, you can designate a specific student, or in general, you can just give us the instructions and we will apply it accordingly.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know Ms. Jones just answered that question, typing it, but it was a good question in the Q&A about a tiny child, a 4-year-old, a baby. Unfortunately, DAR Constitution Hall has a policy that any human being requires a ticket, regardless of how small or how large they are. Every person needs a ticket. So even a newborn needs a ticket.
And to be clear, that's not our role. That's DAR.
I want to concur with that also. That is not an MCPS or Northwood rule. We also do not believe there will be any kind of specific COVID regulations or masks or anything, but we never know. If there is any possible change to that, we will let you know. We know there were some rules last year, but we have not gotten any word there will be any requirements for that. Of course, if you would prefer to wear a mask, you do what is comfortable at that ceremony for you and your family.
There's a question for how long will graduation be? It's generally around 2 hours. At DAR, there is typically a graduation before and after us. So we are on a time limit. So it's generally around 2 hours.
And Ms. Dillon, I've cleared it where you can ask your question.
Could you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to know if you wanted to donate additional funds for the senior dues, is there a space for you to do that?
So
go ahead.
there is, so the senior dues is connected to a a specific student, but what I can do is that I can create, there is a link that's already on the school cash online that says holiday donation. If you go into that link and if you state specifically that that is directly to donate for senior dues, we will make that happen until I can create another link where you can do the direct senior donations.
Okay, and also for the prom as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for your generosity.
No problem.
Yes, a message from our PTSA parents. Please do not forget to send donations for the after prom, as well as donate your time. I know it is a long night for adults. Trust me, we do it every year. But we do need both financial assistance for the PTSA for after prom, as well as human assistance that night. So please, if you're following the PTSA listserv, reach out to them. If not, Jillian Newby is our contact, our vice president for the PTSA. Please, any assistance you can give with that, they will greatly appreciate it. Okay, we will do what we call an education wait time for a few moments if there's any additional questions. All right, Mr. Ulrich, you want to do the honors here and wrap us up tonight?
Awesome. Thank you so very much for our panel. Thank you for all our translators, Ms. Capicelli, Ms. Jones, Ms. Dorn,